Good afternoon. Welcome to yet another episode of Intimate Conversations with Isa Favored. Today I'm having a conversation about sports, fitness, being fit and active all the time. You know, Mus, that it's actually nice to sit in your couch and do absolutely nothing. But it's even more nicer when you go out and you keep yourself fit. And I just thought, let me bring two ladies who are known in Bombela. If you're in Bombela and you don't know these ladies, there's a problem that we must deal with. They are known in the streets. You always see them in the streets. They are running. They are making sure that they keep fit. So beautiful, beautiful ladies, you are welcome. I've got Usibongile Mthunywa, and known as Trio Mom. Yeah, it will not be complete to just say Usibongile Mthunywa. She's the Trio Mom. So if you are on Instagram, you must follow her. If you're on TikTok, she's forever doing all these things. And yeah, she'll tell us about her energy. And I've got Pauline Matabe, known as Lady P. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to start with you, Sibongile. What brought you into this life of fitness? What made you to actually start doing this running thing? Because I haven't known you for longer than a decade, but ever since I've known you, you are on the streets running. Like, how many times do you run in a week? But before we even get to that, what brought you to that? What made you to start doing what you do?
I think first of all, I've been a runner from high school.
Okay.
And I've been a long distance runner from high school until university level. And then, when you become a mom, I kind of like took a break. Mm-hmm. But looking at the stressors of bringing up kids, I had to go back to the road to keep myself sane.
Sane.
Yeah, so hence I ended up become the friend of the road. And that's where I decided that I'll be a trio mom so that people can understand that I run because I'm a mother. And I run because at times I run away from the problems at home.
So you leave them at home until you come back and you find them there waiting for you.
Yes, and the fact that, you need to set an example so that your kids can see why healthy lifestyle is very important. Mm-hmm. So if I don't do the running, I might not be able to actually encourage them as well to be involved in sport. So being a runner, being someone who's always on the road, being someone who's always making sure that I encourage Lady P, anyone that I see, I'm like, go for it. Even now, when I look at, Tati Trophy compared to me, but when I look at her, I'm like, I love her spirit because we all find our passion. And either your passion can be aerobics or your passion can be running or your passion can be gymnastic. One thing I can assure you is go for that passion because that's what keeps us sane.
We're going to come back to that. We're going to definitely come back to that. Lady P, when did you start?
I started, when you kick, you hit the age of 35.
Yeah.
That's when I started running. I was gaining weight, and then I recently moved to Bombela. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, let me start making friends. Instead of making the wrong kinds of friends, then I put on my cheap sneakers, then I started walking. Then walking, I met a couple of ladies. Ladies then introduced me to Bellas.
Yeah.
That's when I started running.
Okay.
And then now it also helps you to cope. I'm in the new town. Nobody knows me.
Yeah.
I'm all clued up in this small apartment. Then I started getting the fresh air, meeting new people. So that's what drove me into running. But then Unamanga Ati, she meets and encourages us. We just shout her. She shouts at us like, Pauline, you're very lazy. I'm like, I'm trying, but you're lazy.
Yes. Because you're saying you actually started before pre-35, you had never been...
No.
You were not...
No. I was just a normal 35-year-old working, come back home, take care of my child. I'm a single mother. Take care of my child, go to church. Yeah. And that's
That was
it.
that.
Yeah. And then now they started gaining.
And you know that after 35, it doesn't come out that easily.
Yes. Yes. Something has to give. You have to do something
There must be
extraordinary. Yes. Then the road happened.
I
Yeah.
love what you said. I wanna touch on that. You said you put on your cheap sneakers.
Yes.
And you went because a lot of people will then tell you that running is an expensive sport. You must have all these things. So you are saying start with what you have.
Start small. Start with what you have. We know the cheapest shop lie Ilanga Mall.
Without promoting them.
Yes, without promoting them.
Yes.
Go there, get just cheaper sneakers, get these freebie t-shirts, and then even these 4.5 kilometers races, they're very cheap. Join them, and that's where you're gonna get into the hype and then join the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's how I also started.
Yeah. And okay. Okay, I'm not gonna ask you your age. I'm not talking about your age.
Everyone knows my age. Everyone knows my
Everyone knows
age
your
now.
age. Because then I'm thinking, in post 35 and 5 years later, you've done 2 international marathons.
Yes.
Aye, what's wrong with you? Then now tell us about that, Njani. In 5 years, you've done less than 5 years, because obviously the other marathons, you did not even do them this year. You've done them before.
Yeah, last year. So I was turning 40 this year. Then I was
Yes.
telling my friends
I
that
didn't say her age. She said
Oh,
it out.
well,
So it's
everyone
not on
knows-
me.
Everyone knows that I recently had a birthday run,
Yeah.
and I was humbled by the support that I received from all the Nelspruit Marathon clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, you know what, I'm turning 40 next year, and I've never been overseas. Then a
Okay.
friend of mine says, actually, I know someone who has 2 tickets and they're not going anymore. Are you interested? Are you really keen? Then I'm like, please. That's when then I joined. Then I went to Amsterdam and Frankfurt Marathon. So yeah, that is where the experience came in.
You'll tell us about that experience. You'll tell us about that experience. Sibongile, you've done 6 comrades.
Yeah, and I'm going for my 7th
You're
one.
going for your 7th this year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right, nje? Can you like
What I can tell you is, it's my 7th comrade. This weekend is my 5th 2 Oceans, and whenever I go to 2 Oceans, I come with the PP. I've never went to comrades and 2 Oceans with the same time. Always my time improves, and I'm really looking forward to this coming Saturday because it's a do or die.
Okay.
In terms of, I'm really going to die for this new PP at the 2 Oceans. 6 comrades, it's not a joke.
It's not.
It requires a lot of discipline.
Okay, maybe for somebody who doesn't know, shame, let's not assume that everyone knows. Comrades is how many kilometers, by the way?
It's a crazy 90 kilometers.
Like, ni right, you wake up, and I like, ni right, mararanas, that you decide you're gonna do 90 kilometers on the road.
You know,
Like, from morning to afternoon, before the sun comes out, because it starts before, and then you are on the road.
you know what I always tell people is, comrades, it's not a marathon. Comrades, it's testing how far you can push yourself as an individual.
Yeah.
You start at the comrades, you are fresh, you are like, I have this. You've got cut-off times that you need to beat.
Yes.
You've got a halfway mark that you need to beat. You get to halfway mark, you ask yourself, what the hell am I doing here?
So you do ask those questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Why am I doing this? Because during the process of preparing for comrades, 60% is physical training
Yes.
and 40% is mental. But when you get to the start line at Pietermaritzburg or in Durban, the percentage changes. Comrades becomes 40% physical and 60% mental.
Mental.
You will only finish the comrades if ever you are mentally fit. You will only finish the comrades if ever you are determined that I am here to get this small medal, as small as a 5 Rand coin. Because I don't want to lie, it is difficult,
Okay.
but we push ourselves. You know, you just imagine yourself, the number of people who look up to you at home, the number of people who are like, we are your number 1 fans. You look at everyone who has been supporting in terms of the training process on its own.
Yeah.
It's demanding on the family. The training process on its own, it's demanding on you as a human being. I mean, you go through stages where at times you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But you remind yourself one question, why did I start? Why do I say I want to run the comrades? Or any other race, even that 4.5 that Lady P has mentioned.
Yes,
Why
yes.
have I started? I think now you ask yourself the same thing. And then you're thinking, what the hell am I doing? But at the end of the day, you reach at the finish, you are like, I did it. It becomes so emotional. Because you look at yourself and say, did I really finish? I know
90
that, you know what,
kilometers.
with this coming weekend, with this 56, already one is thinking, am I really going to run up that Chapman's Peak?
Eish.
Am I really going to run up that Constantia Neck? Because all these are things that you're going to face. And when you align them with life, you
We'll come
realize
to
that life.
We'll come. Hold that thought. hold that thought because I want us to come to that. Lady P, you did your first comrades last year.
Yes, I did.
You did not finish.
Yes, I did not finish.
Tell us. Let's talk about that.
Okay, comrades, it's an amazing race. It's the ultimate human race.
So they call it.
Yes,
eh?
so they call it.
Yes.
So I was there. It was my first time. I must say, at the end, I was excited, but at the same time, overwhelmed by the whole experience. So then I started very, very slow.
Okay.
And then I picked up my momentum. And then I got cut off at the last, I think it's 15 kilometers, isn't it?
Yeah, the 15.
Yeah,
15
the
to
last,
go.
yeah, 15.
You had pushed. So
Yes.
you'd done more than, what,
Yeah.
70? You had done more than 70?
78, ne?
75.
Yeah, 75.
75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the last 15, I saw the lady with the gun about to cut off. Then I'm like, I'm gonna run.
Like,
run.
yes, I wanted
Yes.
what that at that point when you see them, that this is cut off.
The emotions.
Yes.
I was very emotional. It's like, you know, it's all about the mental, the physical. Yes, you wake up and then you run, but the mental stability that I was waking up every morning.
To
I was doing
prepare.
I was doing the heat runs for this, and now it's just come to an end with nothing. It was a crushing moment for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
you
it was.
recover?
I
Okay, maybe just to check. So they cut off.
Yes.
Did you then have to go to the bus? Or
Yes,
did
yeah.
You, so at that point you can't even continue running.
No.
So you go into the bus.
You go into the bus and then they take you to the
Back to the
stadium,
stadium, yes.
and then you
Yeah.
you depart.
Okay.
Yes. And then after that I was in shock for like 3 or 4 days. I was in shock, like, did that really happen? Then after 4 days, then I started crying to say it hit me that Pauline, the last 6 months, like she's saying, you missed on the family time, you missed on everything.
Yes.
Then I just cried, and that was it. To say, you know what, come next year, I'm gonna pull up my socks and start from the basics. At least now I know what went wrong. Start
Okay.
from the basics. Start from the mistakes that you did, and you'll do fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. And then I started running again with the 12 by 12s and then the 10 by 10s. So
Okay, no,
slowly.
don't be too technical. Right
Oh, okay.
You started talking about PBs. I'm like, if I did not understand this PB's personal best, at home, PB's
yeah.
personal best, because you're probably wondering, what are these PB? So you beat your own time that you, if you did 10 kilometers in an hour, the next time you do it in 58 minutes.
Yes,
that's
then
your
that's your
personal
personal
best.
best.
Shame, because I don't want my viewers not to understand. You ladies, you are thinking everyone is in
running, yeah.
is in running. So you are ready for 2023? Conference.
No, I'm not gonna go.
You're not going?
Yes. Reason is it takes so much time on the family. Then fortunately I had to take up another child of
Okay.
the family.
Yes.
So that really took up so much of my training time.
Okay.
So yes, I'm not gonna go, but definitely I'm gonna try the other ultras. Like even I'm gonna try onto the first time do the two oceans.
So you're going to Oceans?
Yes, first time.
I hope my guys, we need the po
Yes.
for moments like this. So make sure that you bring that so that the next time we have a moment like this, we don't miss it. We po. Yes, all of the best.
Thank you so much. I was actually chatting to Sis Pongile, and then she's like, "No, Chapman speaks." Like, oh gosh, yeah.
Because you see, and the Constantia Kloof,
Yes.
when you travel those by car, you can feel that the car has to pull. There's things that are happening in the car.
And we'll be
here
on
you
our
are,
feet.
guys, you're gonna do these things.
On our
Unyawo phambi kwaleli
Yeah.
yeli, cha.
Ngamateki.
I envy you.
Yeah.
Sibongile, at some point last year, is it you, or I'm confusing you with, you changed shoes somewhere. Like, I'm like, this one is crazy. Somewhere, was it midpoint of Comrades? Then she goes and she's like, now I'm on my, what's happening?
You know what, Name?
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of articles in terms of when you run races that are very long, you need to be very strategic. As Pauline has said, that the Comrades is the ultimate human race.
Yes.
So I've been hearing quite a lot of elite runners talking about such races, you change shoes halfway.
Okay.
So first half, you run with your so-called your endurance shoes.
Okay.
Because they are there to give you the endurance.
Okay.
Halfway, because you are already tired, you move into a racer, meaning now you want something that was light. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm not going to lose anything if I don't try this strategy. So I had everything well planned. I prepared my racer shoes, which I call them my pink shoes. They are very light, and when I wear those shoes in a race, I know what I'm going there to race.
You're
I'm not
fly.
going, I'm going there for a PP. So I arranged with one of my friend's wife who was going to support. I'm like, girl, if you get lost with my shoes. You can get lost, but my shoes, I need them at halfway mark, which was 45.
Yes.
So I ran with my endurance shoes, and then when I got to 45, she just saw me coming, and I had a pair of new clean socks. So I said to her, you know what, my socks are still fresh. Just take off the shoes and put on my racer. And girl, Devin didn't see it coming. My legs were so light, you know, it didn't even feel that I already ran a 45. So, and I finished 10:10. Normally my downs were 10:30, but last year I finished my comrades in 10 hours, 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And for me, it was like, wow, these shoes are moving. And my shoes were moving. And you know, when I reached the finish, I'm like, thank you, Lord, mission accomplished. Meaning this thing, it works. And I will encourage even other runners at home in terms of if you're going to go to comrades, get someone who is reliable.
Yes.
Whom when you come, because they were like, no, but get something. I'm like, just take off the shoes. That's all that you need. Take off the shoes and tie them, because at that time you don't want to mess up with your race. 2 seconds, it's enough to spend. Yes, it's a lot. So for me, really changing those shoes, I was like, at least one of the things that I did right this time around at the comrades was to have my shoes changed.
Okay.
And I'm going to go for it again this year. Unfortunately, with Two Oceans, I don't trust my daughter much with this mission.
Shame.
So,
Mommy.
I don't want.
Mommy.
No. You know.
I hear you. You need, yes.
Because even last year, I finished my Two Oceans last year in 5 hours 37.
Okay.
I had a potential of doing it sub 5:30.
Okay.
But when I got into Constantia Neck, my daughter decided to walk from top to bottom. So now I was like, I can't leave her at the bottom. So I had to walk the hill up with her. So for me, it was like I wasted time, you know. So I was like, my girl, 2023, you stay at the top. I will reach you at the top.
I'll find you there.
I don't want you at the bottom. because at the end of the day, you know, someone who supports a runner,
yes,
you need to understand that at times we can be rude. Because we are worried about time. To us, time is important. So when at that time you're like, how are you feeling? Are you great? I don't want those questions. I don't have time to talk. I just want to run. Let's talk about the rest when I'm at the finish.
Yes.
And the excitement for supporters. You know, supporters are like, here they are coming, they're doing great. When please just move. So it's those things, you know, go running, good team. Find strategies.
Yeah.
Find things that works for you. That's what is important.
I love what you're saying. When you say you've studied, I'm coming to you, Lady P. You're saying you've studied different elite runners to say what are the strategies. Have you tried that? What strategies for you? What is having done? You said you are a novice with Two Oceans this year. So you were a novice last year on Comrades, and now the dynamics are not the same. Two Oceans is totally different. Even your climate and all that, when you're coming from the Lowveld and you're going to the Western Cape, which is a totally different animal altogether. I've watched Two Oceans, and some days the weather is crazy. It's crazy. So do you, in terms of your preparations, do you also check and try to consult other runners? How do you prepare yourself mentally?
Well, what I did this time around was to build on my muscles. Okay. I took the notes from Sis Bongile, so I did a lot of grass and a little bit of gravel. And like the other years, I'll just do tar.
Okay.
So now I'm hoping that whatever muscles that I've built in, it'll actually help me with all the Chapman peaks and the Constantia Neck. Yes. So and then even with the tips, even with the nutrition, when you run, they'll always, when they find you struggling, say, hey, what did you eat yesterday? You must try so and so. You must try this, even with stability, especially during the races. They'll say, no, next time try this. Like I was telling Sis Bongila, it was the first time during their race, I was trying a certain brand. So,
Okay.
and it actually works. So now going forward, I'm going to try that one. So they actually do help with especially us novices. They will help you.
Okay.
Yes.
Spongile, you were saying, you highlighted something when you're talking about, the trainings and the races and life. If we take those experiences and we bring them to life, everyday life, because as you are running, there's certain skills and things that you develop. How do you bring them into your everyday life?
Any sport, it's a disciplinarian of life.
Yeah.
Firstly, you wake up because you don't want to.
Eish, kumnandi kulala hle.
Same as with being a mom or being a career person. There are days when you'll wake up even if you don't want to.
Yes.
Sport actually puts you into a place of reminding yourself, why are you doing what you are doing? And life itself has got ups and downs. Even running has got its ups and downs. You've got days where you put on your shoes, you go for that training session, and then you come back, you're like, why did I waste time? So in life, you'll be faced with challenges, and those challenges will remind you, if I am consistent and I persevere in running, why can't I persevere with life? Because we are bringing up kids, and unfortunately, our children won't do as we please. They will take certain things that we impart to them. There are certain things that they won't want to take. But when you combine with running, that even with running, as Lady P was saying, that you listen to other runners. So in as much as when you take those practicals from what other runners have been telling you about, you go back to your children, you go and imply to those that are around you. And what is very critical about sport is, sport, you cannot do it on your own.
Yes.
You always need, it's called group performance. I mean, I'm an imparter of the little knowledge that I have. As Lady P was saying, that any runner that I come across, I will share with what has worked for me. I will say, this is what I'm doing right now, because I believe in seeing the best in others. And I want to see others. For me, life is not about competition.
It's not a competition.
Same as with sport. Sport is
Yeah.
not about competition. Sport is about identifying where am I good at that I can impart. So with life, you bring those things that you are learning from running. Running, you learn to run alone. Running, you learn ukuthi someone will come and join you. Maseka vugile will leave you, but you're not going to be upset. So life is about that. Ukuthi You'll have friends that you kind of like assist them to build up their lives. And when they are somewhere, they might teach you.
Yes.
But don't leave them. Don't cut them off. You were there for a season. So it's very important that as we engage in lifestyle activities, always remember that you are there to share.
Yes.
You are there that there will be others that you will share and they will be better than you. And accept that and live with it. When always anyone that comes along your path, make sure ukuthi you groom them. Because there's nothing that makes me happy. Because I know there is a potential. If I see a potential, I will tell you ukuthi I'm seeing a potential. I will tell you ukuthi you are lazy. Because for me, it's not about Usbongile being the best runner. To me, it's about how many runners have I actually made them to achieve something that they never thought they would
They
achieve.
would, yes. Because I'm looking at you and you turned 50 or you're turning 50. Birthday coming. No, I'm revealing age. I'm revealing age. I'm revealing age because Lady P started revealing her age. So I may as well.
You know what? It's funny because my son doesn't believe that I'm turning 50 this year because he keeps on saying, by the way, Mom, you're turning 48. I'm thinking, my boy, how I wish I could turn back the clock. Unfortunately, the clock, it's not going backward. It's going forward.
For whatever.
And turning 50, looking at the way that I'm looking at, it's really God's grace, firstly.
Yes. Well, we must also not, I think genes play a big role, ne? So,
Not really. No. Okay, the genes they play in terms of longevity because my aunt, which is my dad's eldest sister,
Yes.
turned 88 this year. And my grandfather on my mother's side died at the age of 94. Yes, in terms of age lifespan, yes, I am blessed with that. But in terms of body, unfortunately not. I'm
Really?
coming from a family, yes, that is huge. But I made a choice as a teenager that I am not going to be that size, yes. So it's body-wise, I really strive to maintain this body. And unfortunately, this year, I tend to sign up with someone who is coaching me. Hence, I did a lot of body tuning that nami kwami, I'm actually even surprised at the way I'm looking, because there is quite a lot of training that I've never trained the way I've trained this time around. I mean, I've never trained 25 kilometers a day, and this is what I'm doing at the moment. I run between 120 and 150 kilometers per week.
A week.
Which is something that has taught me discipline in life. And with this person, when I signed up with them, I said, you know what, this is what I want to achieve. He said to me, are you prepared for what lies ahead? Which is what life teaches us. You know, when we start families, are we prepared with what lies ahead in bringing up a child?
We're coming. We're coming. When are you? All right, Lady P. Your greatest, when you feel this was my greatest challenge, we've spoken about comrades, and we know how you went through and all that. Other than comrades, what has been one of your greatest challenge in this fitness space, and how have you used whatever you implemented there in your real life?
I think the first time last year when I did my first 42, I thought I was not going to make
Okay,
it.
Emma P.
Oh.
You see, well, now you've got too much. So you did two. You did two international
Yes.
last year,
Marathons, yes.
and that was last year was your first year. You did a 42.
Yes. Yeah. So when
Your first. When was your? Where was your first? Was it your
the
first
first
local?
was here, Elands, in April. It's in April, ne? Yeah, it's in April. Yeah, it was
Yes.
in April. So that was the first time where I saw my greatest achievement. Because you see people achieving it, and you see it as, I don't think I'll make it.
Yes.
Because you'll do 21,
And you
then
feel like, whoo.
you're tired, you finished, you're done. But then I actually did my first 42 in exactly 4:59. It wasn't qualifying.
Yes.
And then after that I went to Polokwane just to qualify.
Okay.
But after that it taught me, though it was a smooth kind of terrain, that even though it was hard mentally, and my legs were telling me, Pauline, you can't do it. But then I kept on. And yes, you even cry, say, Lord, can you please help me? Can you please help me? And then when you do it, it's like, so Pauline, if you can do it, that challenge that you're facing currently, take it easy. Take step by the same steps that you were taking, thinking that you're not going to make it. So chop this problem that you currently have bit by bit. The same way that we're doing the hills. You'll think that you won't get to the other end, but then, like my other friend will say, kancane kancane izovuma. And then even the problems that we're having, bit by bit, chop it bit by bit, and then eventually it's like, oh, this too shall pass, and this too did pass.
It did pass.
Yes.
It did pass.
So that's what, in terms of running and the whole thing called life, it does to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Your international experience,
Yes.
how different is it from local? Is there, if there is any difference?
Okay.
What did you when you did your international? What did you find that you're like, whew, yeah,
Yeah.
share that with share.
I think what's difference is the major difference that I found was Ubuntu. We have Ubuntu here at home.
Okay.
Like when someone is running, the little that we have will stand by the gate, even the salt, even the orange, even the water. In overseas, you don't get that. What you have, you brought with yourself, then you'll use it. And then again, they run green, very green.
Oh, okay.
And which is what I struggled with, because when we run, you'll take a sachet and then run with it. There, I struggled a lot. I actually, on one of the races, I had dehydration, because with the cups, you can't drink and run with it. So that's one. But one of the major thing was the humility, ubuntu that we have, and the one that, and even the one that I experienced during Comrades, is that I missed that when I was overseas.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone is like, yeah, you got this, but that
It's not.
it's not
not-
there.
it's not an
Yeah, yes, it's not. But what I liked about it is, especially the last one, is because I was tired. I was traveling and then ran the first marathon and then traveled again the next 2 weeks, and then now I had to run this marathon. When I had done it, when I was completing it, it was the greatest feeling ever. That, you know what, with everything that I had, with the little resources that I had, here I am,
still-
this wonderful lady from Pretoria, running her first international marathon and actually completing it. So it was one of the greatest
What are your
challenges.
times on both?
It was the second one was actually horrible. It was 6 hours.
Okay.
And then the first one, because I had the memory
and-
from
okay.
from Comrades, I did it in 5:13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the question will be applicable to both of you. As much as you say it's not a competition, but when you have this time in your head and you see others are passing you, what goes on in your head?
With me,
Yeah.
it's depressing. You get into this corner that, especially when, let's say, with my experiences, when I was in the bus and then the bus leaves you. It's like, Pauline, this was the bus that you were targeting, and now it left
Oh,
you.
yes.
And
Okay,
now you-
talk about bus.
Oh,
Yeah, no, other people don't understand the bus. You're running and there's the bus. So please explain
Oh, the
bus
bus is
for
when-
people to understand at home.
it's during a big race where there's a group of people. They have the same time to finish.
Yes.
So then they'll usually have a flag, say 4:30.
That's the bus
yeah,
driver,
Five
yes.
5 hours. So now when I was in this bus and then it left me, then you sort of go into this corner and say, so that target, the one that you were targeting for,
It's out
it's
now.
out.
Yes.
Go into your corner, go into that inner space, and then find that energy, that reserve energy that you always have, and then continue, finish what you started. That's what I always tell myself whenever I'm doing a very hard race. Finish what you started.
That's it.
And then also learn, yes, you wanted 4:30, it didn't happen. Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Finish and then learn what was my mistake
Mistake,
here.
yeah,
Yes. So that you can improve in the next race.
Okay. Small?
You know, that's very interesting because firstly, I am a competitive person, but I compete with myself. And I've been really blessed because with my watch, I can program in terms of it can pace me.
Okay.
So it paces me, and I run with this person basically. It's two people on my watch. The one shadow is me, the other shadow is the pace setter. So, and I normally make fun and say, this pace setter does not stop at a water point. This pace setter does not go to the bathroom.
It keeps going.
So I kind of like become smart in terms of I will reduce the pace so that the pace setter never leaves me.
Okay.
But majority of the time he has always left me. So I compete with my pace setter. Yes, it is depressing when you see people passing you, but I have learned with the years that life is not about competition.
Yes.
Life is about what I have set for myself. Because if I am being beaten by this pace setter on my watch, it means anyone can beat me. So for me, it has kind of like become an issue where I accept that I have been beaten. And as the DP is saying, Oguti, you know, when I realize, Oguti, the time that I have set, I am not going to reach it. I normally say, Lord, you have seen that there's going to be some pride in me. You are dealing with the pride. So
Okay.
you just better accept that you have been defeated, and I just enjoy the rest of the race.
Yes.
Because if I'm going to worry that Upolen has passed me, chances are I am prone to get myself injured.
Yes.
Because manje sengiyopusha because ngipusha ukuthi uPauline ungishiyile, and how I wish ukuthi all of us as runners, we should not run because Pauline is ahead of me. Run your plan. If my plan has been my pace is 5:30, let me stick to my 5:30. If this 5:30 it's a bad day for me in the office, it's a bad day for me in the offices. Let me step down to my 6-minute K and just have fun.
And
Because
just
at
have
the end of
fun.
the day, a marathon or life is about fun.
That's what I wanted. You see, for me, that's the most critical thing to say. When we focus so much on what the next person is doing, we are missing out on our own race. Because I have got my own journey that I need to travel. But if I'm going to take everyone who's coming, because you can imagine a marathon has got how many runners that are registered. And if you are now going to be worried about everyone that, and it is normal, I love what you said, Lady P, to say something in you will take you into this, but you need to rise up. You need to rise up above that. You need to have this thing that will push you again and say, yes, I had this target for myself, but it has not happened, but I'm still here. I'm in the game. So let me push until I get to the finishing line, because ultimately the finishing line in the race is that, and in life, the finishing line is when these two separates, when there's a separation. and whilst we are pushing for that, I always say that you've got to show up for yourself every day.
Yeah.
Every day. When you wake up and you realize that God has given you life, show up.
Yeah, it's true.
Show up. So you show up when they've passed you, you continue to show up, and you keep pushing.
Actually, you know what you're saying. Sorry to interject. I was very emotional last week. I went into my Two Oceans profile to check on my seeding. Because seeding, I need to, they all place us according to your times.
Yes.
So I've always known, Oguti, my race for Two Oceans always put me at this specific seeding.
Okay.
So I was like, I think 2 weeks ago, I was kind of like boasting. I'm like, Mina, I know, you know what, with Two Oceans, Leia seeding, Leia.
Yummy.
Yeah, Miss Good Sam. Boom, Two Oceans changed the seedings. And then I'm thinking, me, I've never. You know? I said, I've never. I said, the first time I was in that seeding was my first Two Oceans. No ways, Lord. Out of anger, I wrote an email to Two Oceans. I'm like, you have made a mistake. Then I decided, like as the DP said, you are drawn back into that inner corner. After writing 3 consecutive emails, then I decided to ask someone who has got the same time as mine, and we were supposed to be in the same seating. So I'm like, hey, did you check your seating? Says, they gave me this seating, and I'm thinking, oh, Sibongile, you were not supposed to write that email.
Because it's applicable to
Because
everyone.
I think because of the new rule that they have set in terms of we are going to start 2 minutes behind each other. So because now we are too many, they had to kind of like divide the times.
Okay.
So, and then I'm thinking, looking back into life, I'm like, you know what, sometimes in life we are quick in rushing before we actually sit back and do a proper research about that matter before you interject or before you actually rush. So later on, one runner checks on me and say, I want to check on you, how are you feeling? Because yesterday you were so much upset at Two Oceans, are you okay? I'm like, you know what? I had to put aside that toddler tantrum because
Like
that
a
tantrum
2-year-old.
was
No,
not
that was a
necessary.
2-year-old tantrum.
I said that toddler tantrum was really not necessary. Sometimes in life we do that. We are quick at actually showing tantrums than to actually look and say, okay, things have changed. What are the major reasons why the thing has changed? Than to rush, because honestly, I still feel ashamed. I don't think I want to see any of the Two Oceans administrators, because in that email, I'm like, I've never been on that sitting.
So
There's a mistake.
You were spitting fire.
and it goes back into being disciplined and acknowledging at times when you're wrong.
Maybe
Because
you can
running-
send them an email of apologizing.
No, I did. You know,
Oh, you did?
I did. The third email was like, please dismiss all the other emails that were sent before. It was a mistake. because running will humble you. Going back to what Lady P has said in terms of running will take you into that small corner where you go back and say, you know what, things are not working out my way. And life at times humbles us.
It does.
Life humbles us, and until you acknowledge that life has humbled me, you won't be able to move to the next step. We need to be able to say, you know what, I've messed up. I need to be able to go to Lady P and say, you know what, Lady P, I've done you wrong. I need to be able to say, you know what, what you said actually was right. I did not
See
listen
it,
and I
yes.
didn't see it.
Lady P?
You know what? With me, what you were saying is our own running, our own pace. It's that what it has taught me is that we need to stop with this competition. You know, as we're running and then you see someone struggling, just pick them up. Yes, we're running and you are in this race with we're chasing time.
yes.
Try to pick them up. Even with us ladies in life, when you see that the other lady is not really strong and then they're struggling, let us take 2 minutes of our time just to pick them up. So that's what always does to me. That is that let's leave out the competition aside and just lift each other up.
And be human.
Yes.
And be
Yes.
human, because that is the greatest thing you can
Remember
ever
to-
do. Yes, you know, the greatest, I believe that when you do something for a person, when you do something good for a person, you have added something for them to say there is bantu basase right, sanokuhle in people, you
Do
know?
unto others as you want them to do unto you.
Because if it was you who finds yourself in a situation, you'll
Yes.
also want somebody to pick you up.
To
you
pick
know?
you up.
Ladies, thank you. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for having this conversation. You want some more? That's really done. She wants to keep going. She wants to keep going.
No, but you know what, Nomsa, it's you are also encouraging. You know, one won't be doing any justice if we cannot compliment you in terms of your journey as well in healthy lifestyle. You know, mina I normally say, "Ay labo kuku bakho kunabantu bakhona," but you are doing them so well. You know, you are doing them. You know, you make everything look so easy, in as much as you always say to me, but I make running look so easy. And now what you are doing, you actually make it look so easy. And I just want to say, you know, you are a role model, even to us runners. You know, Guma race, when you are doing the water point, ulapanama aerobics, and then one is thinking, hey, I want to make 1-2 moves, but we are hey, my journey, but you know, it's you are a role model, and how I pray that this journey that you have also started with lifestyle and even this whole production thing, that God may bless you, that you may touch so many, and we are all learning from you. We might not be behind the scenes in all these things, but we look up to you and we appreciate that you are bringing all angles of life, and the fact that taking something as small as a sport to be something that is relevant into our lives, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much. I received the blessings.
No,
Your
thank you
parting
so
shots?
much for having me. Like Sis Bongile is saying, you know, when I arrived here, then you started running, and then you saw that it's not for
Yeah,
you.
it wasn't
and
for
then,
me.
And then you went to aerobics, and now it's your thing. So thank you
Yes.
so much. It shows us that as long as you do what you love, and everything else will follow.
Everything else
all the
follows.
doors will open. Everything will just fall into place. No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming through. All of the best for Two Oceans.
Yes.
Your first and your, you know, enjoy. I can't keep up, but enjoy your Two Oceans. Go and represent. Go and fly in Mpumalanga. You're no longer a Pretorian. You're a Mpumalanga person. So go and fly. Go and fly in Mpumalanga. The Mpumalanga flag high in Cape Town. And you know me, Muslim. I'm forever. You know, I'm like, hey, I'm checking you.
And you know what is said? She'll be like, Maki, may I please have your number? Because I want to track you. and Mina, Maki, one thing I can tell you, ne, I know you have closed the show. I love cameras. And most people have always seen that I'm always on TV. Ne? I'm always on TV because I've learned the strategy. You know, that is why life is about being strategic.
Okay.
I know when I come and I see SABC, if a certain light is not on, I'm not live, so I'm not going to waste my energy. But when I see that the red light is on, I'm TV, I make sure.
maximize.
Actually, you know what? I even showed the cameraman. I said, "Look at me," and they will zoom. Even and like for example, with Two Oceans, I can assure you, at the neck of Constantia Neck, I'll be on TV.
You'll be on TV.
I'll be on TV because I already know that around this time, this is where they make it live. for people at home. And even with comrades, I know that at this specific time, so I changed those times for me to be on TV. And then after that, I relaxed.
That is called being strategic. You see, when you know, this is actually a life skill, okay? I know that I had said, hey, Yavona, she's making me go back now too. But then, you see, because it is very important to know where you use your energy.
Yeah.
Where you use your energy so that you don't just dispense your energy. You say even where it's not going to work for you. You love limelight, so maximize on it so that at that point in time you give it your all. In aerobics, we usually, there's a song where we go easy, easy, easy because then the song has gone down. Then when it comes to the you give it your all. You give it your all.
Yes.
And that is life. Life is supposed to be like that. Know when to use what part of your energy for the benefit, for the journey of life. But thank you so much, ladies and viewers at home. Thank you. I believe that there are lessons that you've taken from the conversation that I've had with these ladies. My personal motto is that it is my pace, my journey, my health. So just journey with life like that. And if you're to bring it to life, you say, it is my pace, it is my journey, and it is my life. So make sure that you find that which works for you. When you found that which works for you, make sure that you hold on to it and you make it benefit you. You can try, before you get to the final, you're going to try different things, but ultimately when you find that which works for you, make sure that you maximize on it, because only then would life be meaningful and fulfilling for you. Until next time, thank you for joining us and stay blessed.